It's the Daily Comedy News with your host, Mark Pires. Join us for breaking headlines and all kinds of comedy shenanigans. Brought to you by The Beat Seat.
Welcome. I hope you're doing well this week. It's officially Thursday, day 1921 in a row of the MarkinsPires show. Welcome to the longest running daily variety show on the planet. We do the news here every morning and then music mostly every night with also some news. And we try to stay away from politics, only things that we can all connect on and laugh about. So we have a topic to start with today right off the bat. It's going to be very short intros. Every show you get here, it's going to get right into it so we can get some action-packed content in while we're together. In one of LA's largest cash heists, burglars steal as much as $30 million in an elaborate operation. This I wanted to do last night, and unfortunately we rocked out. I took out my jazz guitar, I haven't played in about a year, and we just tore it up. I wrote a song called Raining Cats and Dogs, which is pretty crazy. I'm going to probably try to edit that one for you, but I got a bunch more I'm doing so far. So welcome. Let's get into the news for now. Stick around. Again, twice a day, so make sure you subscribe and turn on all notifications. Hit that bell on YouTube, X, and Rumble. In one of the largest cash heists in Los Angeles history, thieves made off with as much as $30 million in an Easter Sunday burglary at San Fernando Valley Money Storage, the LA police official revealed on Wednesday. The burglary occurred Sunday night at an unnamed facility in Sylmar, where cash from businesses across the region handled and stored their money. The burglars were able to breach the building as well as the safe where the money was stored. Law enforcement sources said the break-in was among the largest burglaries in the city history. Guys, $30 million. That's an Easter gift right there. They weren't celebrating any visibility. They didn't want to be seen, you know? They were saying, can we do a not be noticed day where we're in there doing it, robbing them blind, the bank that is, who's been robbing us for years. Sources familiar with the investigation said the burglary crew broke through the roof of the facility to gain access. They did a break through the roof job, you know? That's like Italian job, Mark Wahlberg style, breaking through the glass ceiling, Sean Connery. You know, you're going down to get that diamond, the diamond in the rough. I think there's a woohoo coming up about a minute, so stick around. Authorities were alerted and detectives from the LAPD's Mission Division station responded to the crime scene to gather evidence. You know what I should have done today and I didn't? Do a little stretcheroo. Stretch out the face. You know? You gotta wake it up when you're rocking out late, you know, and then you're starting a show first thing in the morning. I am very rosy, I realized. How's that? I'm a rosy mofo right now. Just curious of something. That's a little brighter. That's better. So, everybody, how are you doing? Welcome. Jerry Hayes in the house. Jerry's here to help us at least spread the word so you guys know that this show is twice a day. Hit that bell while you're here and make sure you don't miss what we do here, which is total insanity. No script. We're just in it, you know? Zabrowski.
Something to live for.
Thanks, Zabrowski. I'm going to point to you.
Woohoo!
You guys got a woohoo from Matt Zabrowski. Welcome, Clapper. How you guys doing? I got Ellen here and Kim. Welcome. This is the longest running daily variety show on earth. We do the comedy news. I write songs live in the moment. You may have seen some of my news stories or my music. That happens all here live in the moment on a daily basis, last 1,921 days in a row. So please hit X, Rumble, and YouTube. Just type in MarkinsPires and make sure you turn on all notifications. The break-in was described as an elaborate and guys, we're doing a story about this $30 million bank heist that happened on Easter Day. We were all at home celebrating visibility, you know. I'm sorry? No, I was celebrating Easter. You were doing whatever the freaking hell you do. But I'm here, Easter in it, you know, and I'm opening up one of the Cadbury eggs. I'm just chewing on it, you know, and I hear about a heist. They got my dollars, you know, my doll hairs. I had them actually stored, you know, there in the safety deposit box. they thought they got away with good stuff. They took $30 million. No, they took 30 million doll hairs. I put them in the vault. How do you think I pay Joanne? You guys, I mean, everybody wonders, where does Joanne get paid? Joanne, could you keep the wheeze down? God, Joanne! And then she's back there, you know. I'm sorry, guys. It's the largest prior cash heist in Los Angeles was in 1997. $18.9 million, not billion, at the Dunbar Armored Facility in Mateo Street. So Sunday's incident comes nearly 2 years after a multi-million-dollar theft of jewelry from the Brink's Big Rip at Grapevine Stock. Guys, I can't speak today. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. Maybe I should not have to look sideways. That would probably be better if I didn't have to stare in that direction to do the news on a daily. It'd be better if I could just look right above my head, teleprompter style. But we do read the news live in the moment, and sometimes that could be taxing when you were up late and then you're up early and you have a real estate day to get to. So you're just trying to like get a quick show in, do a little news, and then back into the day. The heist occurred during a 27-minute window in which one driver slumbered in the vehicle's sleeper berth and another ate a meal at the Flying J. In the vehicle's sleeper berth? What the freaking hell is that? What's a sleeper berth, guys? Now, I got to see what the hell that is because there's something you could click. Was a sleep inside vehicle during multi-million-dollar heist. So where the hell? The driver's asleep in the vehicle. Do they have a picture of what this means to be sleeping in the berth? Freaking hell. This is like, is that an English term or something? Anyway, guys, they got away with $30 million and some doll hair as well, as you know. Let's see if there's anything else in the news today. We're opening it up. Solar eclipse cloud forecast means anxiety for totality tourists. I do know a lot of people that are going to watch the total eclipse. They're like, we're flying out. I'm like, where are you going, to Nineveh? I'd stay away from any town called Nineveh. Just saying, you know. There's 7 Ninevehs crossing the path of 7 Ninevehs after 7 Salems last time, the big X across the United States of America. Heathens, right? Guys, don't worry about it. You could do and be whatever the friggin' hell you want. Whatever you felt like today when you woke up. You're good now. That's a thing now. You can just do it today. Tomorrow, you can do something else. Just whatever you feel, you could do. That's what life's about, is just going with your feelings instead of reality. 2024. Customer pulls gun on Burger King employee after getting a discounted breakfast. Who the fucking hell is pulling the gun after they get the discount? I asked for the discount. They're like, nah, I'm pulling the gun. You didn't give me a discount. You gave me a discount. I'm here at Burger King. Gun, you know, in your face. But you say, sir, how about I give you a discount? You look like a really nice guy. I'm going to give you a discount here at Burger King. You give me a discount? What? You don't think I could pay for my Burger King? You went the whole opposite way there, you know? Trying to do a nice thing. Police in Northeast Ohio are asking the public for help locating a Burger King customer caught on camera pointing a gun at a drive-thru employee after the worker tried to give the freaking man a discount. Did we tell you that yet? I don't know if you heard that part of the story, but that happened. Let's see, the incident took place in Cleveland. A lot of good things happen in Cleveland. They had LeBron James for a little while, you know. No injuries were reported in crime reported to the, no injuries reported in the crime reported to the department by the Burger King employee. Look at this freaking guy with the gun. Guys, are you seeing this? That's like a Desert Eagle .50, you know? I got one of those. I actually don't have a gun. I should get one though. Go with 2024? You know, guys, what are we talking about here? You got to get strapped. You got to be ready for the man coming knocking on your door. Excuse me, sir, we saw that post that you put up online about how you want people to come together. Yeah, we're going to have this and that. We can't do that. I'm sorry. We're going to have to take you in. Wait, sir, I'm trying to bring the world together? That's now a crime? Indeed, 2024. The show is considered harmful on YouTube and TikTok, so that tells you something. A positivity show called MarkinsPires with a motto of effect a positive change one person at a time in 2024 is considered harmful. So now you know you're in the twilight zone. And this guy's got his freaking Desert Eagle .50. Whoever saw that movie, it's Snatch. You got Mad Tony? He's got a Desert Eagle. You know how I know your gun is Bolex? Your gun says replica on the side, and mine says Desert Eagle .50. That's not a good impression of him. That guy's awesome. He used to be a soccer player first. Can't think of his name right now, but that guy was a soccer player, a footballer. And then he became like the best actor when it comes to being a villain. Bad Tony. Anyway, anybody remember his name? It is something like, somebody will remember and put it in the chat. The customer sped away from the scene with the gun out the window and his bag of Burger King. But the images captured on the surveillance show he returned a short time later and pulled alongside another car parked outside the drive-through window. Images show he then got out of the car, pointed the gun in the direction of the window, and the employee, look at this freaking guy. He's got a Napoleonic complex. He's barely taller than the height of the car. Do you see this? Look at that. His head barely clears the top of that car. Guys, YouTube X or Rumble, you could see this fool with his gun. Got out of the car. I swear that's Danny DeVito. That's Danny DeVito right there. I'm calling it in. Yes, Willowick Police Department. Is this? Yep. Yeah. Oh, hi, Candace. Look, this is Mark Pires. I'm the host of... Yeah, that's right. You're a huge fan? Candace, I had no idea. Look, Candace, we're here. Are you in the chat? Hold on a second. Thanks, Candace. Jerry, do you see Candace in the chat? She says that she's in with us right now. So, Candace, what's the story here with this guy? Is it Danny DeVito? No, call it into the detective right now. Tell him MarkinsPires cracked the case. You're on the street, on the scene, Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, no, Candace, I don't have time to wait. You just let him know, okay? You tell good old Detective McGillicuddy that he's got to get on it right away, okay? That's DeVito. He's in between scenes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And he's like, I'm going to go and just pull a gun. I didn't like the discount I got. Look, we can't get into the mind of a criminal, Candace, can we? No, just pass along the info. No, Jerry says that she's looking for you, but there's so many people in the chat, she can't find you. So I don't know. You're going to have to make sure you make yourself known in the chat, Candace. Everybody here in Clapper is wondering, are you going to stop on Clapper and say hi to them there? You know, Candace, if you can't go on both platforms, you're watching the show on YouTube and then you're like, you know what, I'm also going to go on Clapper and say hi to the fam that's hanging out watching the show. But instead, you're just going to be like, police detective, you know, I'm here making sure that things don't get done. That's freaking Danny DeVito. Oh, we're trying to figure out who it is. It's DeVito. Yeah, that's right. No, some people say it was that person. I can't get into that, Candace. Now we're getting controversial. We're not doing that here. Okay. Yeah, no, Candace, I appreciate you. Got to go. Yeah, no, I appreciate that you're a huge fan, Candace. Absolutely. No, thank you. We'll see you in the chat. Thanks, Candace. All right. Yeah. Okay. Got to freaking go. God almighty, guys. Candace, right? She just keeps going with it sometimes. Anyway, that's my TV remote. So anyway, here we go, guys. Back into that. I guess that's it. There's nothing else with this goon. That is DeVito, though. There is a phone number here. Hold on. Yes, Willowbrook Police Department. Hi, Candace. How are you? No, I'm just kidding. Guys, so what else do we have in the news today? I'm a bit of a goofball. Get used to it or scroll. That's basically your options, you know. Like, I just like to make comedy out of nothing. And I don't have a script. I never have. I never will. And so when something comes up in a story, it's like, oh, they say that they're looking for, I'm like, oh, let's give them a freaking call, you know? And so I just make up comedy and silly stuff every day with these news stories. And no matter how tragic, no matter how traumatic a story we find in the news, there's going to be 999 people telling you the story that makes you freak out and makes you think about that detail in that way where you're like, oh, I can't sleep tonight. And I'm the guy who comes in and makes you laugh about it. And yeah, we know that all that other stuff exists and we know it's a really disturbing topic and we know that it's disgusting when you think about the detail of that. But if there's some comedy to come out, like what was the mindset of this fucking moron who did this? Like all the stuff I've been doing with P. Diddy is from his mindset and speaking comedically as if like, yeah, no, this is how you do it. And that's the way my comedy works. And like, you could either enjoy it or not, but I'm not going to be the guy who's coming out like, guys, did you hear about what he did? And then he took his pants down and then like that. And that's not how I work, man. I come out here and find a story and we're going to laugh. That's it. Dozens of migrants unexpectedly flown to Martha's Vineyard can sue the transport company for being flown to a fucking minute. So you're suing for being flown to Martha's Vineyard, one of the most beautiful places that you could ever be delivered to, you know, on a platter, and then say, yeah, thank you for my debit card each month. And you're going to sue? Gosh almighty, this is crazy. A federal judge in Boston, of course, Boston, right? Do you know the other day some lady was punched in the side of the face? We covered this yesterday. Punched in the side of the face by some dude. She's just walking down the street. It's like a 45-year-old lady walking with her bag, probably had the groceries, whatever. She's walking down the street, and this guy just decides to punch her in the face as hard as he can, breaks her jaw. She has to have her jaw wired shut, and the judge lets the guy out without bail. By the way, he also had a track record of assaulting people, and he's got mental illness. And the judge goes, let him back on the street, no bail. This poor lady, mouth... So shit, she's talking like this. I can't believe this. I can't believe that they're doing this to me. And you know what? She shouldn't be talking like that. Like a Connecticut lockjaw, but she's got a lockjaw. You know, and this guy's walking the streets, mental illness, going to now assault somebody again. I am firmly convinced, 1,000%, that there has been a ridiculous move by George Soros. And he has all these ridiculous radical judges in office now. And they're letting people back on the street after punching old women in the face. Go back on the street, no bail. Not for that guy. He's okay. And it's just like they want to create so much fear on the streets. They want so much uncertainty. They want destruction. They want division. They want us hating each other. And this is so clear. If you don't see it, guys, it's not about a political figure. This is about the destruction of our society. It's much bigger than politics. This is about humanity dividing and destroying because they can't have us thinking. I just saw an amazing video about this scientist who was reviewing all the data, and he said that basically one of the side effects of the CV and getting the bugaboo that they forced on everybody for the last 5 years, and I told them to fuck themselves with, and I'm still sitting here 5 years later, live every single day. I always said, people are like, well, maybe you did get CV. Or maybe, if I did, I wouldn't have been live every single day for 1,921 days. You can go back and see if I got CV, you motherfuckers. I love that. So somebody said, yeah, maybe you did, and you're just saying, no, go, you can see. I've been live every day for 1,921 days. I started the show 200 days before the Plandemaroo started. I was live on day 493 it was. They just pulled it down the other day because I did Dr. Evil calling Dr. Weaselfrog and talking to Bill Gates about how they were going to fool the world. And now we have to get people to think they need it so they take it. I said that on April 9th, 2020, and that's why you guys have never seen me till today. It's because I said things that came true. And I was doing it in a comedic manner as Dr. Evil, as Bill Gates, as Dr. Weaselfrog. But you know what? That is an enemy to their narrative. Somebody who can actually pinpoint what's really going on, even in comedy. Comedy died in 2019, 2018, 2019. You used to be able to talk about what's happening on a day-to-day basis as a comedian. What happened to me is speaking about the truth got me canceled and got me demonetized and considered harmful just for saying what's really going on. And then if you don't say the thing that's the lie, you get all of these things taken, in your life. But if you're following their BS, if I went out there every day, and you can go look and see, if I was out there saying, guys, make sure you go and get to the clinic, you got to protect grandma. No, go and see what I was doing. I wrote songs like Mandate This and Masked Up, and they're all on iTunes. You can listen to all of them. I uploaded I put out 13 albums in a row, 13 months in a row during this streak. 169 songs were released in 13 months on iTunes. No one heard any of them. They kept everything from you guys. And it's all fire. There's nothing bad that I've ever put out. I wrote this last night. What the frick was this?
You get your umbrella, yeah, grab it, yeah, it's raining cats and dogs tonight. get your garages open, 'cause you know it's a raining cats and so cats in the house tonight.
Just a dumb song about it raining cats and dogs last night, but the point is every night we write a piece of music. Don't know if it's going to be good, but I'm doing something. I'm having fun. I'm creating in a moment that is filled with destruction and division. And I'm certain I'm the source of positivity no matter what they say and what they try to tell you. And just because I say how I feel, I live my moment by speaking what I am actually saying and feeling. That's it. I don't come out here with some preconceived notion of where this show is going to go, ever. This has been live for 1,921 days, the moment taking place, no script. And so if I go off on a tangent and I'm telling you about how I feel, and that's considered harmful, we live in a really messed up world. Because you guys should have enough within you to be able to say, I don't like this, I'm going to scroll. But they don't even give you that opportunity. They're like, nope, we won't let this guy get in front of you. So you even have that opportunity to say, well, do I even like this? And so 2024 is the official year that they told me of what they've been doing to me without, it's like they came out and said the thing that they've been doing the whole time. Out of nowhere, they're like, hey, you're demonetized. You're harmful. And I'm like, harmful? I do a comedy news show not about politics, and I write songs every single day at 432 hertz. If anybody knows anything about 432 hertz, that's like a healing frequency. It's called the solfeggio. It's an amazing frequency. Everybody else tunes their guitars to 440. Everything you hear on the radio is at 440. It messes with us. Messes with our minds, even though you think you like that song. It's messing with you. Go look at what water does when it freezes or when it's being reverberated at 440 and at 432. You'll never want to hear 440 again. It looks disturbing. 432 looks like a snowflake. It's freaking stunning. Every single song you ever hear me write and play on this song live is at 432 hertz. And they don't want you to find this show. And I play music every single day. I write a song every single day. Why wouldn't you just want people to see it? And then they could say, I don't like it. So that's the problem I have. I don't care if people come along and they're like, I don't like your content, Mark. I just want to get to that point after 5 years in a row live, that people at least know the show exists daily, twice a day. And so basically just know it. I'm here 9 a.m. after 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Hit that bell on all the platforms. I'm everywhere. You just have to really search. Type my name in and then go scroll for 5 minutes. Oh, there he is, MarkinsPires. But my Mark Has Wood channel on YouTube, you pop that in, that pops up right away. Do you know why? I have not verified. They keep wanting me to verify that who are you? Who is this guy? Just give us your phone number so we can verify you and let you go live on Mark Has Wood. Are you kidding me? I'll keep popping stuff on Mark Has Wood until eventually they're like, oh, it's a real person. We'll drop that verification bullcrap. Because the moment I tell them it's Mark Pires that owns Mark Has Wood, you won't be able to find me when you type Mark Has Wood. You'll have to scroll for 7 years to find Mark Has Wood. Because they want to keep Mark Pires from the world. Because I don't stop. Every day since December 31st, 2018, I've been here. I'm not stopping. This show just gets better every day. And they're like, oh, maybe if we stop him from getting monetized, he'll stop. No, fuck you, man. If people care about this show, they're going to spread the word and they're going to help me on Patreon or whatever else. But I'm not going to rely on YouTube. I'm not going to rely on any of these other platforms. I'm just going to show up. This is a connection platform. Let's get back into it. So the immigrants, I'm not even going to get into this stuff. It's very political. Let's just stay away from it. Porn star Ron Jeremy's 34 criminal counts have been officially dismissed. Did you guys know about this? Donger, some people call him Donger, you know. Donger McGee, Ron Jeremy, he's been, I guess, in jail. He pled not guilty to over 30 counts of SA, including 12 of, I don't know what you could say anymore. And in Los Angeles over the 23-year period, Jeremy had been in prison since arrest in June 2020. However, since November 2023, he was released and allowed to reside in a private residence due to his declining health and medical conditions. That dong is getting heavy. He's having a hard time standing, you know. A year he was declared incompetent to stand trial, and in March 2023, conservatorship was filed. What's wrong with him? I don't watch TV, so. In exclusive documents obtained by the blast Ron Jeremy, aka Donger, whose legal name is Ronald Donger McGee. Sorry. Is seemingly off the hook as of last week per 1320 or 85 PC. I don't even know what that is. It's permit courts dismissed the criminal charge in the furtherance of justice. 34 counts have been officially dismissed. The long list of charges had been dropped, including, but are not limited to, forcible R, SP with F, SB, LA, upon child 14 or 15 by persons 10 or years older. What in the freaking hell? And forcible oral like I can't say things anymore. Just a lot of crap, okay? It said that Jeremy suffered from incurable neurocognitive decline. Is that basically like, I guess that means he's dementia? Information came to light. Ronald S. Harris stated medical reports that he had dementia, is incoherent, and suffers from hearing loss. I mean, you could see, it's just sad, but look at, like, even from the look here. I always say you could see everything in the eyes, guys. Paul Thompson also shared on November, he feels very badly that this is where we are, but it's beyond our control. His mental and physical condition deteriorated rapidly, and we are left with no other options. He wrote, I'm sorry that we couldn't get complete justice for you in court. So, news comes years after dozens of accusations of grouping and R from dozens of women. Guys, so I don't know, to me, does it seem to you like it was dropped just because he's mentally unstable? Like he's at a point now where he's actually being, I feel like in a way, he's actually getting his punishment. If you know anything about this disease, about Alzheimer's, it is a nightmare. It is the most evil disease. It's the cruelest disease on earth. So if it was ever a punishment, and it's not a punishment because people that are great people get Alzheimer's, but if it was ever a punishment and that they were going to say, hey, we're going to give you this punishment in order to get you back for doing evil deeds on women throughout your life, this is it right here. If he's at mental decline like this is very, very sad for any human being. So I think he's getting his karma. Anyway, what do you think about that? I spent a night in one of the empty apartments in Malaysia's $100 billion ghost town, and I could see why very few people want to live there. What the hell? $100 billion ghost town? What is this? I never even heard about a $100 billion ghost town. That's like insane. Has anybody ever heard about Nick AM? How are you? Jim, good to see you, my friend. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you being here. Doesn't look like we have many people kicking it with us today on YouTube, or any of the other platforms, but Clapper's here with me. I love you guys. Thank you. I got Odie and D Most, Deborah Hankey, Joel Najera, and Joseph. How you guys doing? Thank you so much for being here with me. We've been doing this every day since December 31st, 2018, and we just, in the mornings, read the news, I scroll the news, and live, we're going to do something here and see what happens. Look at this. If you want to see this, though, you can head over to YouTube, X, or Rumble, and actually see these news stories and read along with me. So 10 years ago, it looks like they abandoned this. I mean, it's opulent. Look at that. They got cows outside this, like, Greco-Roman. It's pretty interesting, though. Look at that. They were aiming high here, you can see. Greenland Group broke ground in State Guest Mansions project in 2010. At the time, real estate was booming in the northeastern province of Malaysia. But 2 years later, developers left the 260 European-style homes China had been grappling with. I can't read the rest, it's underneath my camera. Roman style, yeah, I mean, it's basically... Yeah, you see a lot of that in Georgia. Look at that, though. Wow. So, $100 billion, and let's see what happens here. I spent one night there and found they weren't as luxurious as they were branded to be. Dozens of vacant units in the estate are listed for rent on Airbnb. Forest City is a luxury development in southern Malaysia. China's largest developer, Country Gardens, spent $100 billion building the estate. I first visited Forest City. How do you spell 100 billion? Like, I'm trying to understand that type of money. Like, that doesn't even make sense. Like, just looking at what we saw here, how do you get $100 billion from this? This is stupid that you would let somebody milk you like that. And that's probably why they shut it down. Look at this. There's not $100 billion there. There's like, I'm going to call it $100 million, maybe $130 million worth of construction here. And they charge them $100 billion? Peso? Like, what are they charging here? This is insane. I first visited Forest City. It was a ghost town. I found towering apartment buildings spread across 4 square miles. Okay, so 4 square miles is a pretty big. They only showed us that one little section, so maybe there's a lot more here. A white sand beach overlooked the Johor Strait, where I could see the silhouette of industrial plants in the western Singapore. At night, the windows of hundreds of rows of apartments stayed dark. There were barely any cars on the road and only a handful of people at the beach. Forest City predicts that some 700,000 people will live in the estate in the next 6 years. For now, it says there are only 9,000 residents. In 2022, a security guard at the local condominium told me 20 people lived in the complex. This left me curious about what it would be like to spend a night in one of these apartments. In March, 8 years into Forest City's development, I returned to this same estate, booked a homestay at the condo for 70 Singapore dollars, it's about $52, through the property manager. Dozens of similar units are listed on Airbnb for as little as $38 a night. The unit's owners, who are based in China, declined to comment on this story. Take a look inside one of the thousands of vacant apartments in Forest City. So this is where we have, some people are living here, look. Forest City, literally. It's like overgrown at this point. So, anything here? Lying the road to the condo, they had a furniture store and a hotspot restaurant. That's about it. One business owner declined to be named, stayed open in October, significantly busier when they first visited 2 years earlier. Anyway, what else is there here? According to the press release, the Forest City will start at 510,000 Malaysian ringgit, which is about $108,000. It's expensive for Johor, the Malaysian state where Forest City is. Mohammed Najib Razili, a professor of real estate in Malaysia at Malaysia Technology University, told me properties in Johor, usually sold below 300,000 ringgit. So about 60,000. Locals aren't target market for this upscale condo. Some 98% of the units sold in Forest City were purchased by foreign buyers. So how many were sold? It sold 16,000 units. The lobby didn't make a strong first impression. That's what they got. Goodness. The complex looked pristine from the outside, with each 39-story building covered in greenery. But when I entered the lobby, it was far less manicured. The elevators were plastered with peeling wallpaper with Forest City's logo and a phrase in Chinese and English that read, "Going home is the beginning of a new life here in Forest City, Come on by. We got half of a unit built for you. You got to just deal with the rain, constant rain here in Malaysia." My unit for the night was on the 7th floor. There were about 20 units on each floor. Each of the units had a window that faced the hallway. What the hell is that? Who's got a window facing the hallway? Let me just see who's walking by. All right. Oh, hold on. Here's someone coming. That guy looked weird, don't you think? He looked a little weird. Do you think he was going to the pool or going to the ice machine? Like, what do we got? Like, who has windows facing the hallway? That's where you put the cabinetry for the kitchen, for the little kitchenette. You've got a bedroom and you're blocked off so you don't look into a hallway, someone looking in on you while you're changing into your swimsuit, In 2022, Forest City representative told me that 20,000 residential units had been sold. Now it appeared that many of the units were vacant. A resident at another complex in Forest City told me that there were only people living on their floor. That's it. And that most other floors in the building had only one resident. Imagine having a whole floor to yourself. I'm buying this unit. And I'm taking that one, and that one, and that one, and that one. You go walk in there, it's like a party central. You got the Sega room. You got the Nintendo room. You got the Dreamcast room. I'm going through them. TurboGrafx 16 room. Each one has a projector in there, just filled with candy, also, just junk food. Gamers there in Forest City. Some buyers thought that Forest City, in terms of the rental market, would be much easier to see the return. One local business owner who declined to be named said she worked as a property agent in Forest City and had 50 units available for rent. I don't think this is going to do well, guys. First of all, it's in the middle of freaking nowhere. Who's going to Malaysia? And then who's like, I'm going to go up into the woods. Is there a forest city? I was wondering, is there a forest city with nothing, deserted from the world, where you're there and nobody else is around? There's 3 people in the entire building. Everybody's got a floor. You have anything like that? Oh, you do? It's called Forest City. I was joking when I said a place like a forest, a city that's just like a forest that you drive for hours into, like in the middle of nowhere in the woods, and all of a sudden you show up in this freaking forest in the middle of the woods. You got anything like that? Joe Kaishamo, an adjunct senior research fellow at Monash University, told me locals in Johar often preferred to purchase landed properties rather than high-rise apartments. She said she was deterred from many locals because they could not afford it. Even those that could afford it from buying a house, they want to buy a house. They want to be like on the ground. I want to come outside and put my little feet on the ground, connect with the earth. Can't do that in a 74-story forest building, whatever the hell it is. Master bedroom was furnished with only one double bed. How many beds is it supposed to have? Oh, with only a double bed. All right, there's the view. Look at that. It's just, that's too much greenery, guys. Well, actually, the city's so disgusting, if you think about it, like all you see is buildings. So it's actually not a bad idea if you were seeing more greenery. Like maybe if you built like a city in the forest. Oh, gosh almighty. We should do that here in America. Just like the land we're not using right now, just start building, man. And we start moving into the middle of this country because there's a flood coming. No, I'm just kidding. Something's happening. I'm here on the East Coast. I shouldn't be here either. This is bad news. East Coast, West Coast, we should be right in the center of the country. Where's the absolute center of the United States? Hold on. Where is... Where's the geographic center of the U.S.? The geographic center is in North Dakota? The geographic center of the United States is appointed approximately 20 miles north of Belfort, South Dakota. This is regarded as such as geodetic survey. But that means... Like this to me is where I would see it, not up here in freaking South Dakota, because you know what they're actually considering it based on all of Canada as well. Like I'm talking about over here. This is where I want to be, right here, Kansas or Nebraska. I'm talking about maybe Kansas, right here, right in the corner of Kansas. We're going Nebraska on it. Or if I go to Colorado in this top corner over here, maybe there's some freaking mountains that I can hide in with my Sherpa, you know. Are there mountains up in this corner of Colorado? Anybody know? I'll tell you, being on the East Coast of the United States, I don't know what I'm thinking. But geographic center is apparently up in South Dakota, which makes zero sense because you're very close over here to the water. I'm saying if there happened to be a pole shift and all of a sudden we switch directions, if that's a thing, and then now the water that is moving in one direction at a speed is now going in the other direction, we're done. That's what happened last time around. I don't think we talk about that enough. We're all just like, look how smart we are and how advanced we are. And then you'll say stuff like, well, who built the pyramids? And like, I don't know. And like, how do they do that? Well, I don't know. Could we do that today? No. When your final answer is that you can't, then you know that you're not that smart. And so when it comes down to it, we are probably 5th, 6th, or 7th civilization that has gotten to this point and probably been wiped out for very similar reasons. We're heathens. We don't have the ability to connect anymore. We just want to hate. And it's not our fault. It's the media. It's the people in charge that know that that's the way that they can accomplish their end goal. When they're losing control, the only thing they can do is destroy us before they lose their power. And that's what seems to be happening here. It's a slow awakening process where others are understanding how they're being treated by the system. But instead of thinking that it's like some sort of like privilege thing, it's about the powerful of the world holding us down as a whole. It has nothing to do with one group. It has to do with every single group underneath the power group. We're all the same. And so when they tell you that you should hate me because I look this way and I should hate you because you look that way, this is the way they play the game. If they could keep us distracted while they finish off the goal and we're actually annihilating each other in the streets, it's like, hey, this is great. We're getting everything done that we wanted. And it reminds me of this great reality of ants. Like if you put red ants and black ants in a jar, they're fine. they're fine. But if you shake them up, I think there's this, and I want to almost look this up to see exactly how this goes, but if you shake them up, they start fighting each other, thinking that they both did it. Like, oh, you did that to me. But really, it's the person holding the jar that shook them. And they're fighting in there, and they didn't fight with each other. They got along fine. It's the person holding the jar shaking it. That's the person that you should be fighting. That's the person that you should be angry with, not with the person that you are standing across from that looks different from you, that has a different belief structure. None of that stuff matters. We are the same. We're all held down by the man. As soon as we start realizing that, we could come together and we could fight the man. And again, this is why you never know who I am until today, and probably why you won't unless you subscribe again to the YouTube, X, or Rumble channel. When you say things that are true, you get annihilated by the man. It's like everybody who gets to a point where they're about to open the world's eyes up to something, they get annihilated by the man. They get canceled. They're ridiculed. They're called names. All of a sudden, somebody comes out from the woodwork and says, oh, well, they did this to me when I was younger. And now you have this legal case that they're thinking about and talking about. Instead of the thing that started it, the reality, the devious act. Jim Caviezel is my favorite story on that. This guy does a movie about child trafficking, and they cancel him. They cancel him. They call him names. They tell him a conspiracy theorist. When this is a true story that was told about a man who saved a ton of young children from being victimed. And they cancel the guy. And then you have to start saying to yourself, okay, well, if you're going to cancel a guy who's trying to save the world, then you obviously want to destroy the world. It's a good guy right there. He played Jesus. Yahshua. That's his real name. He wanted to shave Donda University's heads, or students' heads. You can't do that, buddy. Oh, goodness. $35 million Spanish estate could set a new record for listings in Carmel, California. I'm a realtor. I should read that and be excited about it, but I'm not really, I don't know. I'm just not getting into that $35 million estate. Unless you want to let me list it. I'll talk about it all day, every day. Wealthy New York City pair accused of tormenting neighbors with years-long construction to sell mega mansion for $85 million. Dr. Evil, I got $85 million. Yes, you do. I only realized recently that my Dr. Evil impression is basically Jordan Peterson, right? I'm like in the process. I'm doing Dr. Evil. I'm like, no, you're doing Jordan Peterson. You're telling everybody how they feel, right? I can't do it when I'm thinking about Jordan Peterson, but if I say Dr. Evil, I'm like, gosh, that's basically Jordan Peterson, you know? Wealthy New York City pair. It's like I start to lean into it. Man. Anyway, there they are. Look at them, that wealthy pair. They spent years turning two Upper West Side townhouses into a mega mansion. They've listed the lavish home for $85 billion. Paris-based businessman Pierre Bastide. Yeah, he's a bastard. And his wife, jazz singer Malou Beauvoir, I nailed that, by the way, bought 48 and 50 West 69th Street between Columbus Ave and Central Park West, and more than a decade ago for a combined $24.5 million. Billion dollars, Dr. Jordan Peterson. To demolish both homes in 2018 and eventually build what neighbors have deemed an unwelcome monstrosity. It's a monstrosity, Philip. Philip, did you see the monstrosity? They keep going bigger. They're going bigger with the 2 duplex deal. Freaking people. Go back in your apartment, lady. Your 12,000 square foot apartment is not a monstrosity? Their 36,000 one is, but your 12,000 square foot one's not? They just can't get it. They're just like, I can't do the 36, so we have to complain now. A lot of jealousy there in that building. We should get them on. No, I'm kidding. All right, roughly 7-year rebuild included significant excavation, much to the ire of locals who complained of the noise, dust, debris, toxic fumes from the site. Some even fled the neighborhood. We're leaving because of the pesky project. Leave it to a few Frenchmen. Like they decided to take over New York. you know. We got to do the duplex. To $85 million, you know, and you got it all of a sudden, 85 million. I don't know if they're going to sell it for 85 though. She looks like a different singer. I can't think of her name. This guy over here, he's like, I'm doing it, you know, with his French accent. Anyway, neighbors awaken each morning to the jolting sounds and vibrations of jackhammers. We do not envision a mega mansion or a swimming pool. Instead, we hear the steady digging of graves. Figuratively and literally, we see our graveyards because of the various toxic fumes entering our homes and our bodies, as well as the death of our block, our street, nay, our neighborhood as we know it. The now nearly 20,000 square foot home spans 8 stories. What the fuck? 8 stories? What? Including 2 underground levels. This guy's got like a bat cave and 55-foot long indoor lap pool that extends into the garden. Listing agent Jim Saint-André. You think they're going to go with a French person? Jim Saint-André of Compass recently told the Wall Street Journal, gosh almighty. Imagine if you had enough money to make like $85 million like 8-story apartment in New York City. It's just mental. It's just mental when you have that type of cash. You know what I mean? And then there's people on the street that are just like starving and can't even get bread. And you're like, I'm going to put in the white, you know, shades or whatever the hell. That's a pretty cool room though. That's like 22 feet tall. Once the foundation phase was over, the project team has remained in very good relations with the neighbors. But despite his assertion, neighbors continued to express fierce opposition to the project years into its construction. According to a 2021 article published in the local ILoveTheUpperWestSide.com blog. You go check that one out, guys. 3 years ago in the project, residents shared their grievances on pieces of paper stuck to the physical construction site. Whoa, look at that staircase. That is insane. Guys, YouTube, X, or Rumble, subscribe, turn on all notifications, then you can see this ridiculous staircase. Guys, look at that staircase. What in the hell? So let me ask you guys. These 8 stories, they pay 25, it's on for 85, which means there's 60 million. They probably put like 20 million in, 30 million. So they're making 25, 30 million. How come you could do this with 80, 50 million, but building that city in the friggin' woods is 100 billion? Like, they ripped the hell out of those people. I'm just saying, they got ripped off. There's no way. Here we go. The selfishness of these billionaires hurts my brain, one person wrote. Constructions for years for 2 people? Selfish. Like, this is all stuff people are posting on X. Given the harsh response from locals, it would have been pretty awkward for the couple that had done this to move in, said Carol Genjois. Louis, she's a lawyer there and lived in the area. So I guess that makes sense. You do all this, you know, nobody wants to ever see you. That guy walks in, Pierre Bistal, and he's like, I love my new apartment, 8 stories. They're like, get the fuck out of here, bastard. You know what I mean? Anyway. Saint Andre declined to comment on the couple's reason for selling. Everybody fucking hates them. That's why they're selling. The current sales record for the city townhome was set in 2018 with the sale of Wildenstein Mansion, the Upper East Side, for a stunning $90 million. The Wildenstein Manse belonged to the art-dealing dynasty that once included Jocelyn Windelstein, who years of plastic surgery famously earned her the moniker Catwoman. You guys remember that lady? I sort of do, but I really don't care. She's gone now. She was a Catwoman, apparently. But these people, they can't ever show their face again. This guy here, smug as a motherfucker, right? You're looking at him. You're like, why are you so smug? I got $85 million. I'm sorry, it's good $85 million. Yeah, we know. You just freaking are spending it. You're throwing it around. He's got that $100 cash gun. He's going, that's how he pays his contractors. They're like, Bastard, we have your bill for this week's work. Oh, okay, get ready. I'm going to grab the cash gun. Got workers running all over the place. They're punching each other for the cash. You know, it's a brawl. He does a Royal Rumble type thing, pay-per-view. And that's how he makes all this money. So he could do these $85 million projects. You think he's just like some sort of like businessman? He is like, he's basically the Dana, you know, the UFC Dana. What the hell is his name? Dana White. He's the Dana White of the Upper East Side. So Bastard, the Bastards, the Bastide, Mark. It's Bastide. I'm sorry, I'm not French, okay? I just pretend to be one for a moment or two when I'm on the show. Tanker crash accidentally releases 70,000 salmon into wrong Oregon River. Is that a bad thing, though, that there's like salmon in a river? Is that a bad thing? Like, oh, that's in the wrong river. You're supposed to put it into the other Oregon River. What? Is there two Oregon rivers? Someone to help me here. Tanker crash accidentally releases 70,000 salmon into wrong Oregon River. So there must be two Oregon rivers. Like, I'm going to figure out which one I want to put the salmon into. Should I go into that Oregon River? Or should I put it into that Oregon River? What's that, Jim? Jim, I really don't know which one. Here, I'm just going to crash it, and wherever the salmon go, that's the river we're running with. If one of them's wrong, how was I supposed to know that that was the wrong Oregon River? Let's read it. Let's see what happened here. When a tanker crashes on the highway, it usually spills its cargo all over the roadway, causing backups for miles and traffic holdups during the cleanup. In Oregon, however, one tanker crash spilled its precious cargo into a river, which was actually the only place that could keep its load safe and sound. That's because the truck was filled with young salmon, which were on their way to be released in a different nearby river, a different Oregon River. Oh, now I get it. I guess Oregon River is not a generic river. Like we have the Connecticut River. So now that this, hopefully it'd be funny to you. We have the Connecticut River. Okay, I'm in Connecticut. So something on the map you will see is something called the Connecticut River, okay? So when I read a news story that says, into the wrong Oregon River, I'm like, how many Oregon rivers do you have? We have one Connecticut River. We have all these other rivers in the state, like 5 Mile River, that happens to be nearby me. But Connecticut River? So they put this one in the wrong river. It's another river nearby, not the Oregon River. There is no such thing as a straight up Oregon River, like the Connecticut River. These are just rivers. Oregon has a ton of rivers. There's no named Oregon River, apparently. Is there? Let's see. The Oregon River. We're going to check it out real quick because now I got to know. The Oregon River. There we go. Map of the Oregon River. I don't know if they have one. They have a list of rivers. List of Oregon rivers. Willamette River. Rogue River. Is there a Oregon River? Oh, it's not going to come up if I do that. All right, well, let's just go back, guys. Apparently there's tons of rivers. There's no Oregon River just straight up. Unless you're from Oregon, you're like, yeah, no, we have an Oregon River. Let me know about that. Fish tanker filled, 100,000 young Chinook salmon crashed into Oregon last week. 53-foot truck rolled onto a passenger side, skidded across the pavement, flipped onto its roof after hitting a rocky embankment. After colliding with the side of the road, the tanker split open, leaking its contents into a riverbank next to the road. This spilled an estimated 77,000 salmon smolts, the technical term for the fish that's around 2 years old, into the Looking Glass Creek, which runs alongside the road. Guys, a lot of them died, though. Do you see this? There's at least 1,000 right there. More than 25,000 salmon died. I thought 1,000. That's 25,000. Remaining 25,000 Chinook were found dead. Others stranded on the riverbank or inside the stricken tanker. That's sad. The fish were being transported from Looking Glass Hatchery in Northeast Oregon to Imnaha River, which you guys probably know very well. The Imnaha. The salmon population in Imnaha is listed as threatened by ODFW, whatever the hell that is. The Office of Defense for Wild Salmon. However, the fish instead found a home in Looking Glass Creek, about 30,000 of them, where it expects to predict a return to breed each year. Let's see, we are thankful, blah, blah, blah. This should not impact our ability to collect future brood stock and maintain full production and goals in the future. So I don't know, can they grab some of them, bring them over to the Omaha, whatever the freaking hell it was? Because they need them. They're at danger levels. Oh, goodness. Alabama woman charged with 3-year-old found carrying 2 kilos of cocaine Okay, I sent her in with 3 quicos. What am I saying? Oh, goodness. Montana. Yeah, Scarface. Here's another one. Ohio man arrested in New Jersey. Okay? You had 500K, man. Okay? You got a cocaine? You call Sosa. You tell Sosa I don't give a fuck, man. Okay? So basically, I think that's it, guys. I think we got enough news for the day. I've definitely done enough news for the day. Of course, I don't know how long I've been on the air. S-Coop in the house. Yes. Sometimes you get lucky, and during the morning show, S-Coop's able to make it. And that's always a good time. Unfortunately, we're live, and I don't think anybody really found the show today, which is the way sometimes it goes here when you are Mark Pires. But S-Coop found the show, and Mama Bear was here, and Jerry, and we had Nick A.M., my friend. And I think that was it. Another good show. But 15 people have joined this stream, which is very, very awesome, YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. You're really sweet. When you do a show every day for 1,921 days in a row, you're really awesome. You know, sometimes when you're trying to just put a show on. Leisure number 7. And we got a Leisure number 7 too, which is great. I'm so happy S-Coop got a couple days off. So guys, I will be back later. I do have content I'm working on, songs. Just downloaded yesterday's morning news show, which I remember there was some funny stuff there I'll be dropping. And if you can, I'll be back tonight. Stop if you can for a little music and some good times. I thank you for being here with me. Absolutely. Clapper, you guys are awesome. Cecilia, Linda, and Aranya. Good to see you guys. I appreciate you. Hopefully you can head over to X, YouTube, or Rumble. Subscribe, turn on all notifications. This show is live twice a day. Regardless of who's able to find it or who does find it or does join me, I'm still here putting on, my hope, the best show that I could put on at that moment, you know. So I will be back. Until then, you guys have an awesome day. Thank you for being here. Joanne, keep the wheels down. Thank you, S-Coop. Have a great day, okay? Until later for part 2.
You got to go away.